Hi there. This is a reading for the collective. Take what resonates, leave the rest. I don't really have a title for it just yet because I feel like I'm going to be sharing some dreams that I had last night with you because they're very significant and I think that they'll help the collective as well. Um, so maybe once I am done sharing that or when I get into the reading, I'll figure out what um, spirit wants for this reading to be called because I really couldn't put my finger on it. It's a lot of different things. I will say that I feel like right now what has been coming up a lot is like generational ideas that we are, um, putting a kibosh on, so to speak. And a lot of it has to do with like our ideas of, you know, roles in our relationships, especially our love relationships. A lot of this is stemming from like childhood too. Um, so, if you've been really like working through like some heavy things right now, like self trust is a big thing that's coming up. Like having self doubt, right? Self trust is a big thing. And there's a big sense of like, there's so many patterns, behaviors, ideas of yourself that are being kind of left behind right now, or you're trying to, but it's like really tough. So if you resonate with any of that, stick around. And like I say, I'm going to talk about my dreams first because they're very significant in what I think this reading, like what spirit is going to help us kind of like see in this reading that I'm going to do. So one of my dreams, probably the most important one was, and I keep saying like being at a crossroads, right? And part of this crossroads is like, okay, I've gone down this particular road for a long time as this specific person, right? It's not about who you're around or anything. It has nothing to do with anybody but you. Like you've been going down this road, okay? And now Spirit is asking you to take that new path to who you're supposed to be, essentially. So anyway, I was at a crossroads. It was nighttime, and I was sitting on a bench with my father, and there was across the street, there was this big fire on the grass. Well, it wasn't on the grass. There was like a bonfire, and it was huge. It was a huge fire, and there was a bunch of bonfires like kind of scattered around that I could see like in the distance, but nothing was as big as this fire that was by me, like across the street. But it was raining, and I had this like concern that the rain was gonna like dim out the fire, like it was just gonna go away. By the way, I forgot to mention that I do dream interpretation. So, that's one of the services I offer. If you want to check that out, I'm going to put my booking information in the comments section. Sorry, squirrel. So anyway, I was worried about the water dimming the fire, but it was actually making the fire burn brighter. So part of that like message is that, emotions only fuel your passion more. So if you've been a person who has viewed your emotions as a weakness, like it's not, and there's something really significant about the flame right now. My friend Catherine and I are doing a podcast tomorrow. It starts airing tomorrow, called Embers of Enlightenment. And when we were creating the logo, I came across this torch, and the torch has been coming up a lot for me now that I put that on there, because I feel like, as a spiritual leader, I'm carrying the torch for you. I'm helping you. I'm guiding the way. And same for Catherine. Same idea. That's why we're doing this podcast together. So the fact that the flames, the bonfire was there was very significant to me, as like Spirit saying, yes, you're on the right track. Okay. But what happened in my dream was I was sitting with my father and I was asking him for advice. And when he gave me the answer, it was like I already knew that. I already knew the answer. And one of the things I've noticed recently, I'm not reverting back to my old self, but I feel like my old self is coming up very heavy right now. And you might be experiencing this as well, because like they feel me moving forward and they're scared. Okay. So you might be exhibiting these old behaviors, these old habits, and things like that, that are triggering you and making you kind of feel like you're reverting back to this old version of yourself, and you're not. Okay. It's just these triggers are coming up and you're needing to acknowledge them. So for me, and maybe for you, it might look different for you. I have always kind of doubted myself and my decision making, but it was really highlighted quite a few years back because of the decisions I was making surrounding with like the people that I was surrounding myself with. Okay. So that created a mistrust with myself. And that's something I've been struggling with, very, very recently. It's been coming up very, very recently, where I have been leaning on my friends more, and I've been leaning on, and listen, it's okay to lean on the people you care about, but I'm extra leaning on my friends and then my boyfriend to make, decisions that I can make myself. Or, I'm just like really doubtful of what I can do, what I'm capable of doing. Okay. And that's okay. But that's the point of why I'm having this dream, because like I need to recognize I don't need anybody to make a decision to live my life. Okay. Like, and the decisions that we make on an everyday basis, like you think about, okay, what are you going to eat for dinner? Like, that's a silly decision to be afraid to make, right? Like if I say, like if my boyfriend and I are talking about what we're going to eat for dinner, and I say I want Taco Bell and he says he wants McDonald's, let's just give that as an example. Like, it's okay that we want different things. We're going to come to an agreement. And even if it's, Taco Bell, like maybe he doesn't get what he wants with McDonald's, that's fine. He'll enjoy the Taco Bell. You know what I mean? So it's just like, just an example, like small decisions like that. I've been like really going, oh God, what if I make the wrong one? And it's just so silly because I'm not going to make the wrong one. I know I can trust myself to make the right decisions. So, there might be something tied to if you're feminine, and if you're more in feminine energy, we all have feminine and masculine energy, where you have found yourself relying most of your life on the masculine energy to make decisions, and now you're coming to a space where you say, hey, I got good ideas too. And it's about coming together and making a decision together. It's not just about allowing somebody else to make the decision for you or saying they know better, because too, right? So that was one dream. And then I had another dream that I was at my old job and I saw some old friends that I worked with, and that was kind of fun. There's a lot of past energy coming up too, I should say. A lot of past people, a lot of past experiences that are showing themselves to you so you can learn and let them go and move forward. But anyway, what I really remember from this dream was the end of the dream where I was doing like my part, even though it wasn't really what I did at this job. I was doing my part, and I got a package that I had to go through and kind of like disperse to different people or whatever. And when I got the package, there was extra things in there that actually was not part of my job. So I stopped somebody that was walking by and I said, hey, it was like checks. I'm like, these checks are not supposed to go to me, right? They're supposed to go somewhere else. And she said, yeah, well, technically, but here's what you can do with them since you have them anyway. So for me, there was a sense of, and I've always kind of just taken on a lot of things that weren't necessarily mine. And it's funny, I'm reading a story right now where this woman is just like in work, just like kind of doing more and like taking on other people's jobs and not saying no, right? So, what I recognized in that dream was like, hey, if I don't want to do something, I can say no instead of getting mad that like someone's passing this off to me, because they're probably used to me saying yes, right? And that's just general in life. It's not just about career. I just always have, taken care of everybody around me without, kind of thought of myself. And I've gotten better at it. I don't want to say I'm, still like don't have any boundaries, right? But I think it was a reminder that, instead of like complaining about maybe somebody not doing their share, or, instead of doing the thing and then getting mad at whoever it is because you did this thing, it's like, okay, well, you can say no to that, or you could ask for help. So it's a reminder of your perspective for sure on that dream. If you resonate with that, it's like, well, maybe it's not that kind of scenario, but perspective is important on everyday life and how you're co-creating with people, of like, okay, what's my role in this situation? Where am I looking at this other person when I'm doing something that isn't in my highest good, right? And then the last dream, and I mean, I had a lot more in the dreams that came up, but these are the ones that stood out that Spirit was trying to show me something with. The last dream I had was I was at a carnival, and there was this ride, and it was so crazy because the ride was like one of those, it wasn't like a tilt-a-whirl, but it kind of like swayed back and forth. But it looked like it was defying gravity, and it wasn't held up by anything. And I really was excited about going on this ride. But you had to have 4 people. And I think I think it was me and 3 other people, but I was looking for that other person. And it's actually somebody that I'm no longer friends with. This is somebody that is not in my life anymore. And when I went to go get them, I saw them, they were in the dark, they were smoking a cigarette, and I called their name and they didn't answer me. And then I was like, well, shit. So I went to go, back to stand in line and get on this ride. And I'm like, well, I guess I'm gonna have to find somebody else on this ride to go on this ride with us. So, the message there to me, and I think this is something probably a lot of you need to hear, and I needed to hear it, was whoever is meant to be now in your life and on your ride with you, or like in general in your life, like think about times that you might want to think back in the past of people that you, like somehow they just ended up leaving your life, or something happened and like you had to let them go because you're like, oh, this is not good. So if you're in, like, this is surrounding self-trust. If you're in your life now and you're going, well, like, I don't trust myself because, these people in the past, they really hurt me and I let them do that and I couldn't make a decision or couldn't see who they really were and their intentions, right? Well, but you got yourself out of those situations, and Spirit got you out of a lot of those situations. They pushed you out of those situations because those people weren't right for you. So Spirit is saying, don't doubt yourself now because of those past experiences, because you learned from them and you know who's not right for you. And if they're not right for you, they're going to leave themselves or whatever. Like, what's funny is this person didn't leave me. I was like, bye. Like once I realized what was going on, I was like, yeah, no, this ain't for me. Right. But stop looking at your life now like it's your life however many years back this was. Maybe it's like 5 months ago. Like, it could be very recent that things like this have happened for you. But maybe it's like 10 years ago this happened, but you're still like questioning, like, am I surrounded by the right people? Yes, you are. And if you're not, Spirit's going to remove them. Either you're going to go, oh, you know what, this isn't working, or they're going to go, see you later. Okay. So, but what I truly feel, because that dream felt very, like, I was totally fine with this person not coming forward, right? It felt like it was done. That kind of thing was done. So what I'm feeling for you and for me, for whoever comes and watch this video, whoever's in your life right now is meant to be there. They're the right kind of people. Stop doubting your decisions. So this is about self-trust for sure. And that's what I was going to call it. But I was like, well, there's so much kind of tied into it. So whatever needs to come out, Spirit will, we'll get the message out there. But self-trust, needing to trust yourself moving forward with decisions, with people, with yourself, especially. Like, you are not the same person. That's the big message, okay? Wow, 15 minutes in. All right, we're going to get to it. I'm not going to write down the time because I feel like those 3 messages are important for sure. Ace of Pentacles, look at that. You are getting the help you need, especially right now because of all the work you've done. Yes, Emperor. Like, you are standing in your power more than you realize. It's funny that you need to sit down and maybe think about how much you've changed. And you did have a blindfold on before and didn't make decisions for yourself, but now you are making decisions. Now you're taking those steps forward and you have clarity. So but you're looking at it, the Empress. But wait, didn't we see the Emperor too? The Empress and the Emperor, we love that. But you're looking at it through old lenses. In Nine of Swords, in a message I gave recently, I said something about sunglasses. Like, I have my sunglasses on, but that's another good analogy. Like, maybe you are looking at life through old glasses, through old lenses, and you can't see what's actually in front of you. So you need to dial up your prescription, okay? Like, look at it through who you are now. Yeah, those choices you made in the past, even the bad decisions, led you to this point. Okay, so Hierophant, Faith. Okay, I was going to say, actually, I'm sorry. I was going to name this reading like Self-Trust and Self-Faith or something like that. Because like the faith you put into other people and into spirit and the universe and all that, like, you don't put that into yourself, and you need to do more of that, okay? Anyway, sorry about that. I got distracted. So those decisions you made in the past, like, they all needed to happen so you could get to where you're at now. So those people, places, and things were important. And even like, so I want you to kind of look, when you look back, I want you to look at the decisions you made, and some of them, like, even if they were kind of mistakes, or you felt like, oh God, why did I do that? You need to find the good in them too. And perhaps you need to do a comparison of like the decisions you made then as opposed to the decisions you make now. And how you come to make a decision. Like, maybe before you just were like down with whatever, and that's what landed you in these situations. And now you're using more discernment, and you're saying, wait a minute, I don't know if I necessarily like that, or I want to sit with this a minute to see if this is something I'm aligned with. Those kind of things like are really important for you now. Like, you're not the same at all. Death. Yes. Death. Overworking's been coming up a lot too lately. Whoa. Sorry about that. Sorry. Oh, yeah. They're ending the cycle of just carrying everything, every single thing. You're getting more aligned with yourself and other people around you because of it. King of Swords energy showing up. We love that. A lot of masculine energy coming through here, actually. So what's interesting too is lately when I've been doing readings, I've been talking a lot about how, there's a strong masculine energy in the feminines because of these past experiences. But to me, what this feels like now is it's coming from a space of more leadership instead of like controlling. Like, I'm seeing the Emperor, but in the reverse. So like not to say you're a tyrant, but you might have found yourself trying to control situations, people, and stuff like that because you felt out of control because of these situations. So I feel like you're working on finding more balance within yourself, and it's like definitely being shown outside of you with like people are noticing is what I want to say. which is really good. You got 2 2s. It's all about balance too. And I think that's the hard piece too. You might kind of juggle in your mind, like, okay, is this coming from a place of like self-doubt, or is this a true, like, you might have trouble with discerning reality because you spend so much time kind of trying to like pick apart yourself and things in your life. Like, you probably, like me, you've been healing for a long time, so you're like, okay, I need to look closer at this, when really maybe you don't. Maybe you just need to take a break and just be, right? Oh, look at that. It's like the infinity symbol. We love that. And we've got an 8 here too. So in faith, I was talking about faith, which I think I did because I saw this card. But you need to remember your faith. Like, stand in your faith. It's not just about trust, it's about the faith you have too. Because spirit recognizes how much faith you've had, and it's like, okay, why don't you have faith in yourself? See, blessing in disguise. Trust. Oh my gosh. Revelation, significant surprise. Yes. Trust. Woo, hello. The bird said yes, hell yes, with that. Point of view. Yeah, you're part of the self-trust and the self-faith is like changing your perspective, changing your point of view on how you used to see things, seeing the humor. Like, find the good in those past experiences. Like, it's not even really just about what it taught you, but maybe now that when you look back, you can see the value that those experiences have brought you now in your current life. Okie dokie. What's going on here? Okay, that one. Spirit relationships. We love that. Those situations and people helped you, and I talk about this a lot myself, they helped you get to this point that you're at now, like where you're really connected. Gratitude to those situations and people, and the transformation you went under because of those situations is like crazy. Yeah, it's time for you to step into your power for sure. Forgiveness, freedom, healing. Whenever I see this card, I always think it's money. This feels like abundance to me, even though like it's really about like, well, I was talking about writing stuff out, right? It's like you acknowledging these things so you can move forward and do what you need to do. Live your life. Just live it. Whoa. Career transition. And actually, there's prosperity. And actually, you are probably finding that you're stepping into divine self. You're stepping into new opportunities because you're in a place where you're trusting yourself more and more aligned with the things that you want and desire, instead of like needing permission from other people to do what you want. Okay. Oh yeah, Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, Gemini, Libra, Aries, we saw the Emperor. Empress is Sagittarius. I don't think there was anything else. I can't remember if there was. So with this death in between, like all these opportunities that you had that might have not felt good in the past, and then overworking. Like there's something with this cycle where you're kind of you're ending this idea of more is better. More is better. Like in regards to the things you want to experience, and in regards to how you live your life. Like it's funny because I was talking to my friend Catherine yesterday or the day before, I can't remember, about like working smarter, not harder, right? That's something that I'm working on. And I get caught up still with that. It's hard because you're you think about all the things that you need to do to pay your bills, and if you want to go do something or whatever, you gotta get money from somewhere, right? But what if you don't have to? What if like somehow you have a miracle? Like I just got a letter in the mail, literally yesterday. I got a letter in the mail that one of my debts was being forgiven out of nowhere. So the idea of like, see, this is missed opportunities. Like your part of you is still going, like this is your old self version. What if I miss out on an opportunity? But it's like that's coming from a place of lack. And I was literally, that says lack. I was looking at that over here. That's so funny. You're getting to understand that, however you viewed things before with life and how you have to make money and prosper and all that, like that's a cycle you're trying to end right now. And the people too. So if you look back at the people from the past that you're surrounded with, maybe you had more people in your life, and now you look at the people around you, you're like, wow, I don't really have a lot of people. It's because you like, it's about quality over quantity. That's the big message here. Quality over quantity. You're using discernment to pick the right cups and take action and move, and work and whatever it is when it's aligned with you. Meditation is very important. Science, inspiration. When you feel like lost, or maybe you're having trouble making a decision and you want to kind of lean on the people around you like I was doing, there, Spirit saying meditate on it, sit with it. And you might like go to sit down in the meditation, and then you're like, oh, I know what I want to do. I know what to do. Like, and you don't even have to do the meditation, or maybe you should just do it anyway. I've been kind of, yesterday I was thinking I need to meditate more. I'm doing it at night because, I was having trouble sleeping. But during the day too would be helpful. So yeah, the ship has sailed, literally. And it's like anybody or anything that wasn't supposed to be on the ship or wasn't supposed to be on the ride didn't go on it. Okay. And those situations, people, things, like you were juggling. Like it's like you were juggling these two ships for a long time. Like, okay, am I supposed to get over here? Am I supposed to get over here? And like back here is like the things that weren't aligned with you, and over here is like the things that are aligned with you. And you're like, okay, I choose this. So it's time to actually leave behind the past, the whatever you're still juggling that it's not existing now in your present moment. Okay. Zadkiel, purple. Destiny, pride, conscious, forgiveness came up twice. It came up in another card. Change, excitement, opportunity, advancement, pride, and forgiveness. So definitely, okay, with the self-trust piece and the faith in yourself, you definitely need to forgive. Maybe writing about forgiving yourself for the choices you made and the people you surrounded yourself with before. And maybe forgiving yourself, like for me right now, like I just literally had epiphany before I came on here. And I get stuck sometimes with my business where I'm like, okay, what am I supposed to be doing? Or, do I need to take a break? Or, I just get caught up in like my mind instead of going with the flow and just doing the thing, right? So, stop trying to juggle or look at it like wherever you're at now. And maybe it's not career, maybe it's just everywhere in your life. Stop looking at it like you're still on this ship and start moving through the door. Like the door is open for you. So take that step. You're not always gonna how do I want to say this? You're not always gonna have all the answers, right? You can't possibly, no one can. But the important thing Spirit wants you to do is just when you want to do something, maybe you pause for a minute to make a decision and do that thing. Like, should I do this or that? Like, make that decision. And if it doesn't feel good to you, you won't do it again. Or maybe it'll help you realize, like, in the moment, oh, you know what? Next time I'm going to do it this way instead of that way. Okay. Don't hold yourself back anymore from creating in whatever it is in life that you want to create. That's where you really need to trust yourself. Like, you might find yourself pausing a lot or feeling like you're in stagnation because you are afraid to take that step. Like, that's the self-trust. Like, am I actually ready for this thing? Yes, of course you are. Yes, you need to take that step. And if it doesn't go the way you want, then you take a different step next time, right? This is interesting. I feel like, and I resonate with this, a lot of what's been coming up for me lately, I did it was just a message. It wasn't a reading about, like talking about gratitude and not taking people for granted and the things that they offer you. Okay. So, you know, you might have been handed some cups before that, like over here, that weren't in your highest good and you took them. And then when people offered you the good stuff, you might have taken it, but you didn't like realize the significance of what they were handing to you. And that's okay. That's okay. Self-critical, shame. Like maybe you have some shame surrounding the things you took for granted, or the fact that you took any cups from specific people or took any cups that didn't align with you. Or maybe you just refused to take the cup when you needed it. That's okay. Like, that's part of learning and growing and evolving. Don't punish yourself or shame yourself because you, see, that's part of the self-trust. You thought you made the wrong decision at the time by taking that cup or not taking that cup, or taking that cup and not appreciating the cup. Okay? 1 second, I need a drink. Have faith and trust that it's all going to work out. It's already working out for you. Yeah, forgiveness, seeking freedom, healing. You are free. You are free from this past. It's time to go. It's done. And listen, you are going to find moments, because I do too, where you get caught up in the past and you're like focusing on things from the past, or you're seeing it in your current life because you're creating those moments, or maybe somebody's triggering you and it's showing up in a different way. But like truly understanding that you're free from that and that it's safe for you, maybe you just need to hear that. And you need to have more faith in yourself that you've created this space where you can move forward, right? Completion, transformation again. Like, you've completely transformed from like pain, loss, chaos, like needing answers, greed. Oh, abundance is on here. Okay. Healing. Look at healing's right there. Betrayal. Yeah, you've had a lot of See, there's good and bad. Like I'm telling you, there's good and bad from these things. And maybe it's time that you sit down and you focus on what was actually good about those people, those situations, and you specifically in that timeline. Turquoise feels very significant to me. Like, because I was looking at this pink, purple, I was like, okay, but I keep looking at the turquoise. So, and there's some over here, so that might be significant for somebody. And there's never going to be, like, this was my epiphany. There's never going to be a perfect time to, you're never going to be, you're never going to know it all. You're never going to be completely healed. You're never going to, I say this all the time, but it's like understanding it, really understanding it. You're never going to, it's like having a kid, right? I've never had one, but people always say, like, you could prepare all you want, and especially financially, but, you're never going to be completely prepared for that, even if it's something you want and you feel like you're completely prepared, right? So you're never going to be like completely have all your ducks in a row to create in life. So why not just do it now? I've got chills. Why not just do it? Peace comes from that. There's a freedom in that. Just saying, you know what, I have faith. I'm going to take that step today. Like, and it's like, it's about you just taking a step every day, whatever that means. And maybe some days you're like, I don't fucking feel like doing anything. That's totally fine. Spirit's saying, yes, we want that for you too. We want you to rest. But Spirit is saying, no more waiting. You've waited long enough to take action because you were letting these things define who you are and what you're doing. It was stopping you from creating. Now you have that freedom because you trust yourself and you have faith in yourself that you are doing more of what's in your highest good than you were before. Your highest good and the highest good of all, right? And also, I want to come back to this 4 cups. There might be something with you feeling like you've handed out your cup to people that they didn't accept it, and maybe that made you feel some kind of shame or chaotic twice too. Some kind of shame, or maybe like that's part of your trust issue with yourself. Like you handed cups to people who didn't deserve them or something like that. And it made you feel bad about yourself. Like that's something you need to let go for sure too. Okay. Indecisive, uneven, scattered ego, divine self. It's interesting because like this is contradictory, like especially with the 2 of cups in the middle, because I do feel like you are more in sync with yourself and other people that are in your life. Like you're finding more moments of like feeling, trusting yourself, feeling whole, like feeling like things are really good and in alignment, but you're still kind of like this is a cycle you're closing out where, see, indecisive, where you feel uneven, scattered, and you're in your head about like when you get those moments with people that feel good where you're like, oh God, what if this goes completely wrong? Like, and that's part of like where this started, right? Okay, can I trust myself that I am around the right people? Yes, you can. And you can allow yourself to have more of those moments because you are deserving of them. You've always been deserving. That's the thing. Okay, you've always been deserving, but you didn't recognize that before. You didn't recognize that before. Everybody's deserving of the things that they want. It's just a matter of putting in the effort to, acknowledge the things that you need to acknowledge in whatever the situation is, right? And trying to do better. That's literally it, right? Expectation. So there is still like this King of Swords, like that's good energy. Oh, hope. Aquarius again. I don't feel like you're hopeless anymore. That's interesting. Like I feel like you used to feel like this. But I think sometimes you do get in your ego where you're like, I think I know better than spirit, and you don't. Remember that. Expectation, renewed connections, forgiveness again. You know, you could come across people from your past, but I feel like this is more forgiveness for yourself. Like a reunion with self. Love, travel, humor, vitality. I mean, it could be with somebody else. And maybe it's somebody in your present moment that that you've kind of felt out of sync with, that you're finding you're getting back connected with them because of this work you're doing, because you're trusting yourself, and not because the thing about what I was realizing with that first dream I had especially is like, you know, you put a lot on other people when you find yourself in those moments where you don't trust yourself and you're seeking out other people to maybe solve your problems or make you feel validated or whole or whatever. So, you know, getting that in that faith and trust in yourself is going to make you feel, you and that person feel better for sure. Yeah, I was talking about the Two of Cups. Why didn't I think that was? Yeah, this feels related to love for sure. But it could be friendships too. You might find that someone from the past contacts you and you're like, okay, yeah, I'll give this another go. I forgive you. I feel like you've forgiven people from your past. That's the interesting thing, but you have not forgiven yourself. Ace of Wands reverse. Like, give yourself the same grace you give to other people. So Spirit is saying, like, it's not that you can't have expectations for where you want things to go moving forward in your life, but there's a difference between like you getting angsty because this thing hasn't arrived. Like, for instance, perfect example, I was just talking about this where I was talking to my friend Catherine and I'm like, man, you know, I know Spirit is saying like I gotta stop overworking, but I don't know how I'm gonna, you know, like I gotta really pay my bills and I gotta pay my boyfriend for rent, you know, like these things coming up, and you know, I got overwhelmed, and that's totally okay. But literally a few minutes after that, like, I was reminding myself of things that happened recently that really worked out for me financially. And I'm like, it's going to be okay. And then I got that letter in the mail the next day. Those are the kind of things that Spirit wants you to recognize when you get caught up in your head about, and this is like old versions of yourself, right? Where you get caught up in your head about like that lack mindset where you're like, oh man, I don't know how this is going to work out. Well, how about you just know it's going to work out? Not there being another butterfly, two butterflies. You know it's going to work out for you. It always does. Have faith in yourself and in Spirit. Like, it's all going to be okay. And certainly put out there what you do want to Spirit, and then let the universe and Spirit show you the way and take steps towards it. Like I'm saying, like you can't, I was looking at this star card and how, you know, she's pouring into the water, whatever. Like, you have to do some of the work, okay? That part of the expectation I think you've had, and I relate, okay, is like, okay, well, you said I'm going to get this thing, so I don't, you know, I've done my part, so you got to come forward. And sometimes there is a sense of that, but like right now, Spirit is saying, if you want these things, you have to take action and go after them. Like, you're in a space where you're ripe for creating, putting your dreams into reality. Like, you have to meet them halfway now in this moment is what Spirit's saying. You've got to do the thing. You got to trust yourself that you can do the thing, have faith in yourself that you can do the thing, and everything's going to work out beautifully for you. I promise you that. So I'm going to leave you there with that. Thank you. So actually, no, I'm going to pull one affirmation. We could use it, Spirit. One affirmation, whatever we need to hear. Thank you so much. And then we'll end the reading. Ooh. Well, but see, that wanted to go up right after all. Opportunities. I can't. Listening to. Spirit's trying to give you signs too. They're like, listen, okay, I'm trying to help you. How about you pay attention? Okay, opportunities. When new opportunities arise in my life, I swallow my hesitation, okay, and gladly accept them. At this point in my journey, I can't tell what will turn out to be a dead end path and what will be the road to my dream career or whatever it is. So I might as well try them all. Dear Maps app developers, how about a fortune telling option? Hi, that's me. No, yeah, like I think part of your fear too is that because of these situations where you felt like it was completely wrong, it went completely wrong, and that's why Spirit is asking you to write down what did go right for you. Look at the birds are like yelling, yes, yes, yes. Is that it wasn't really a dead end, okay? Because you are where you are now. So your fear, like the self-trust issue you have is about making a mistake, and that's that perfectionism. Go watch that reading. I just did it a few days ago. Go watch it if you resonate with that you're a perfectionist. You have to take a step forward because you're never going to know, okay? Like, so would you rather just stay where you're at and be completely miserable because you're not doing what you love or sharing experiences with somebody you love? Like, no. So you've got to do something. Otherwise, you're just going to be stuck where you're at now. And I know you don't want that. So anyway, thank you so much for being here. I'm proud of you. You're doing great. Okay. Give yourself some credit. Any likes, shares, comments, subscribers to my channel are super helpful and appreciated. If you would like to donate to my channel, it is not expected, but appreciated. I will put in the comment section my Cash App, Venmo, and PayPal. That would be super abundant of you, and I would be forever grateful for you giving me that abundance, and it's going to come back to you. I am not currently going live. There's 3-2. Sorry, I just noticed that. I'm not currently going live. I'm only doing online bookings at this time. So if you would like a booking, one-on-one reading with me, if you need some help with any of this, self-trust or anything in general, I will put my booking link in the comments. And I really, truly hope this found who it needed to and helped you.